All right. Good morning. Good morning to me. uh, let's have a look here. A little morning beverage. There. All right. So yesterday we left off getting ready to do the lip down here, and if you're new to the streams, the lip is part of it's an invisible material. You don't see it in the game. It's so you can stamp things like exhausts and stuff to the side of the car. And then we'll do an underbody, which just kind of like helps kind of wrap up the chassis a little bit, close it off a little. Don't have to do too much here. We'll do some bounds boxes. They're not the same thing as bounding boxes. Bounds boxes, they kind of determine, where the weight of the chassis is and where the cabin is and where the cargo is. So obviously this one's not going to have a whole lot of cargo space. It's not going to have a lot of cabin space. This is an engine on 4 wheels. And so anyway, we'll get that all set up, and then we'll start skinning this one. We'll get it weighted. And then from there, we're not going to do shape keys until we have all 3 variants done. Because you have to apply all your modifiers, which means your mirror has to be done. So we're not going to do the mirror until we have all of our variants. So we'll do skinning and we'll do weighting on half of the mesh, and we'll come back after we're done with the 3 variants to do shape keys. And what I'm going to do shape keys on, I haven't quite decided yet. Maybe I'll make the fender kind of blow up a little bit. Maybe it will be roof related. Maybe I don't know. Whatever I end up not skinning, I'll do with a shape key. I'm almost definitely certain I'll do like this window tilt with a shape key, just because doing it with a shape key, I can control the reflections a lot better by using the shear tool than I can just kind of weight painting. When you try to weight paint this and get this straight, it just ends up kind of, it's not the same. It's not quite the same. So anyway, we'll get to that. So I guess for now, let me see here. I guess for now, we'll start with the lip. Should I start with the lip? Yeah, I think I'm going to start with the lip. So let's get in here. And the lip is a pretty simple little guy. We're just going to highlight, there. Oh, you know what? No, hold on. I've missed something. I forgot to do something. There's been a number of complaints about the width of this car. And I talked to the developers about it and talked to other artists about it, and it's just a visual thing. I went ahead, I took a look at the blueprints, and let me see if I can still see the dimensions. So the dimensions are what? 3848 by, no, that's quite right. Hold on. 1549, and that's actually 1549 is actually 30 millimeters wider than an actual AC Cobra. So this dimensionally, this is actually correct. It's the width, it's the height, and the length of an actual AC Cobra and an AC Ace. They're very similar in size. So I mean, I didn't miss the mark. It's just, I don't know, it's eye tricks. But nonetheless, it does look a little narrow, doesn't it? So we're going to go ahead and widen this thing. To do that, though, I mean, like if I just tried to grab this thing and widen it, it would be all kinds of messed up, right? Because I have the shrinkwrap modifier. And so I can't really do it by itself. Thankfully, Blender 2.8 has multi-object editing. So what I can do is I can actually highlight, because I've got this one and 2 backups, and now it looks a little funny. That's because you can see, I mean, all the other cars are here and are being shrink wrapped, right? And then I've got the target. So there's actually 4 bodies that I've gotten started here, right? So what I'm going to do, and if you remember what the target looks like, the target is the one with no wheel wells. Where'd that go? And I turned that off. There we go. Yeah, that's the target mesh. If you remember, we did that in the first video. So anyway, let's go back. What we can do, though, since Blender now has multi-object editing, which is handy, is we can just drag and click, and you'll see all 4 are highlighted. Make sure we did that in object mode. So all 4 are highlighted. Now I can tab into edit mode, hit A, and we will highlight everything. And now what I can do is I can scale all 4 at the exact same time. Let me get this in front view here until I have a width that I'm happy with. So let's scale along the x-axis until we have, oh, hold on a second, hold on, I need to maybe do 3D cursor. There we go. Yeah, it needs to scale against the 3D cursor. So I'm scaling it, hitting S, and then I'm constraining it by hitting X after that. And actually, let me go ahead and turn on, even though this has been kind of a bust, the shortcut viewer. Let me go ahead and start that so you can see what I'm clicking. Again, remember, when you see accent tilde or accent grave, it's me hitting the tilde key, which I've rekeyed to the middle mouse. Like, so I don't use the middle mouse button. I use the tilde key because I have tendonitis issues. So for me, the middle mouse button is injury. Anyway, getting back to what we were doing. So anyway, when you see that accent grave, just convert that to middle mouse button. Anywho, oh, thank you, Stevie O Wonder. Nice work. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get back to this. So I've got everything selected. I'm going to hit S and X. And see, that's so the shortcut viewer doesn't show you that I just hit X. And that's why I need to deal with that. I don't know how I'm going to deal with that. But I just kind of want to widen this. Not too much. I just want to go. Maybe I should enter a number. Maybe I should try something like, what if I did 10 centimeters? Whoa. Let's not do that. All right, well, let me see. Each one of these boxes represents 10 centimeters. The large box is a meter. Each one of these represents 10 centimeters. So I think I actually decided I wanted to go 30 in total width, which means I need to go about 15 out. So I'll go 15 this way and 15 this way. So close to this line, but not quite to that line, right, would be about 15 centimeters. So let's give that a shot. Let's try putting it out to right about, let's say there. So that should be a total width gain of 30 centimeters. All right, now let me go ahead and hide the target mesh. Let me hide the backups. Oh, that wasn't the backups. That's the backups. And now let's take a look at that. Okay. Historically inaccurate, but it looks better. I agree that that looks significantly better. And I may have to see, now this is looking a little bit wide here, but boy, would that be a hassle to try to fix at this point. So I'm probably just going to leave it. I mean, it's the whole thing is modeled after a Shelby Cobra, but it's not supposed to be a Shelby Cobra, right? It's supposed to be things that you can make it into, right? So this will be morphable, and all kinds of stuff is going to be morphable, so you can make it your own. You know, the Cobra is just a, you know, just kind of like a template idea. So anyway, let's not ramble too much further. So we've got that taken care of. So now that is wider, and all my backups are nice and wide now. They all match. Everything is matching up to the target mesh over here, which I've widened. So all right, we're in good shape. We can continue on. Let me go ahead and close those guys up. Let me open that guy back up, so I'm going to close that one there. Okay, let's go ahead and do our lip. Let's jump in here. So to do the lip, I'm just going to come down here, and I'm going to highlight that line. That's going to be a good stamping area. I don't need to do anything over here. I don't imagine anybody's going to stamp anything there. So I'm going to grab from maybe here. I don't really want to do the fender itself. Maybe I don't want to do that much of it. Yeah, that's okay. That's all right if it morphs a little bit. It's okay. So we'll go, oops, yeah, from there to there. We'll grab that part of it. And then we'll grab, and to do this kind of selecting, what I'm doing, hold on a second. Do I want to leave that way? Yeah, I think I do. Maybe I don't. I think I actually, before I get started here, I kind of feel like I want to close this off. Yeah, I better close this off. So we're gonna do the lips in a second. For the time being, what I'm gonna do, it's kind of looking a little crooked, ain't it? I guess it's fine because it's on a shrink wrap, but so yeah, let me see. Maybe. Yeah, so here's what I'm going to do. Let me go into side view maybe, like that. So I'm going to extrude this and put it roughly there, I'm thinking, and then I'm going to remove it from the shrink wrap group. Let's take a look at what that looks like. Let me throw on the matte cap there under the card. Looks fair enough, and it's going to be a little bit wonky, warpy looking, but so we got to get in here and try to figure out how we want to go about connecting all of this. So first thing I think I'm going to do is I'm going to hit SY0, and oops, wrong one. What I need to do, hold on, I need to hit the period key and go to active element. I want to scale to what I have highlighted. I don't want to scale to the cursor. So let's try that again. SY0. There we go. Now it's a nice straight line. It's lined up with this guy here. Let's take a look. Reflection's cleaned up a bit. Let me go ahead and we're going to highlight this line and hit F, and that'll fill in the gap. Now we can really take a look at our reflections, and that should be just fine for the underside of a car. Now, the underbody, this is going to be kind of a different one, I think. Let me take a look here. I think I kind of want... Thinking. I want to make that UV unwrapped, but I don't think I want to put exhausts way back under there. Maybe I want to put the lip material here anyway. It might look a little funny. I mean... The thing I'm thinking about here is if I put the lip material here and someone stamps an exhaust, if that exhaust does not have a UV cutout, it's not going to cut a hole in here. In fact, it's not going to cut a hole in there regardless. So I really can't put the lip there. The lip is just going to have to go here. So, you know, compromises. I want this to be UV unwrapped because I don't UV unwrap the underbodies. Anyway, so let's go ahead and let's get back to what we were doing. Let's make a lip. So I'm going to select from there to there, and to select sectionally, right, I'm hitting Shift to select. That way it preserves what I've already selected. And then to select from that line here, it takes the active element. I'm going to get Control Shift, bam, and it'll select everything in between those lines. So we're going to do that again. We're just going to hit Shift Select with the mouse button, Control Shift Select. Alright, we still have active element selected, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to extrude this down on the Z-axis, and what I want to do, this car is going to have plenty of room over here. I want to make sure it has plenty of room over here to stamp that big, what is that big 4-into-1 side exhaust that belongs there on a Cobra that I'm going to model, and we're going to put it into the game. So anyway, I want to make sure that lip is nice and big, but I don't need it to be big down here, right? So I'm going to make sure that the front one and the back one line up with the middle one by highlighting the middle one and hitting SZ0. Actually, hold on a second. Why did they move down? They moved down because I accidentally hit bounding box center. So let's try that again. SZ0. Now the other ones all move up. Now everything's on the same line. Another thing I have to do is I have to remove it from the shrink wrap modifier so that you actually see it. Then I'm going to hit 3 for face select mode. And I'm going to hit, what am I going to hit? Alt-Shift, click, Alt-Shift, click to select all the faces. And I'm going to come over here to the Materials tab. We're going to get a new material, and that is LipPlacement. We're going to assign it that material. We can get off this shading here. There we go. I'm going to go ahead back into vertex select mode, and I want to kind of just put a sharp edge on these. And that over here would be what edge? Where's it at? Where's the sharp edge thing? I have it in my quick menu, right? It's sharp edges. Should be up here. Whoops. Should be sharp edges somewhere in here. Is it in vertex? Where is it at? Where is it at? I'm not sure where it is. That's why I have it in my quick menu, because I don't know where it is. It's somewhere in this drop-down menu, or like I said, you can search for it by hitting F3, and you can search for, you know, sharp edge or whatever. Edge. Should be somewhere in here. Anyway, whoops, hit the wrong one. Don't want to dissolve edges. Whatever. Let's just move on. Let's get it sharp. I'm going to hit sharp edges. Didn't do it. Hold on. Sharp edge. There it goes. Okay. And let's go ahead and, while we're at it, let's go ahead and just crank up the mean crease on it. There we go. So that'll clean that up. You can't see this anyway, so I just kind of want that to be stable. Now, this is a little crooked back here, and I want to fix this. It just should not be crooked. So what I think I'll do is I'll highlight that, and I'll just hit SZ0 just to flatten it out so it's not crooked. And this right here, that's just, everything's fine. It's all fine. It's good. Alright, so that is the lip. So now we're gonna do the what do I call it? Under the little dibby-dibbips. Hold on a second. Maybe I just need some morning beverage. Let's see. Stevie-O's asking me if I can mod some small trucks or a bus. I'm not going to do any buses. Small trucks. I've done some trucks recently. I did. They're going to be in the game when the game updates this week. You're going to see 4 models that look like Jeeps. I did 4. I did like one that kind of looks like a Willys, one that kind of looks like a CJ7, one that looks a bit like a YJ, and one that looks like a JK. And those all have truck variants. And then I did 2 vans, like a 60s Econoline and a 2013 Toyota Hiace? I don't even know how to say it. But I guess Hiace, and those have truck variants as well. So you're getting 6 new trucks in the game this week. So at least you get some trucks. I'm not going to be doing any buses. Like I said, the bus is outside of the scope of the game. You know, that's what I'm not a modder per se. I work directly with Camshaft software. I do work for them, so I basically do what they ask. And they don't want buses because there's only 3 rows of seats. A bus is kind of pointless. And anyway, a semi truck. No, we're not going to do a semi truck either. Again, there's no dual rear wheels. So again, it's one of those things that's kind of pointless, and that's outside the scope of the game. It's not something I'm going to be doing. But you know, if you want to tackle it yourself, that's kind of what this whole video series is for. It's to help teach people, you know, the basic steps of getting through modeling, how to model specifically for automation. Like, this is not how you would model a photorealistic render, you know. This is how you model for, whoa, what's going on here? Oh, I gotta fix something in here. Oh dear. Oh dear. I don't know what happened there. Must have been when I widened it. But anyway, let's take a minute to try to figure out what's happened here. Oh, I've got a mess, don't I? Anyway, like I said, the whole point of this series is to get you through kind of the step-by-steps, and get you through modeling, and I think it's this one here, isn't it? What are you? What are you connected to? Yeah, you gotta go this way, huh? And this guy is kind of out of whack, and this guy's kind of out of whack, isn't it? What's going on here? How do these get so... Oh, that's back there. So that's probably okay. Where do you belong? What is your story? You are this guy down here. You belong down here. Something like that. Man, this got all out of whack, didn't it? That kind of sucks. Good grief. How did this get so wonky? Man. Ugh. I don't like dealing with this crap. How does it look, though? See, my door seam is kind of rounded off again. It's supposed to look like this, and over here it's all rounded because it got screwed up. Damn it, that sucks. I don't know if I can even fix it. What is wrong with you, door seam? Where's your friend? You, what are you doing way up there? Don't you belong down here? Don't you belong down there? Isn't that where you go? And you. Let me try moving you back to something like here. Don't you belong there? Don't you belong, like, hit this? I think that looks right. And you're out of whack too. Don't you belong down here? I'm talking to my model, don't mind me. Let's see here. And then what are you? Are you part of the, yeah, you're part of this little guy here. Oh man. Yeah, that must have happened when I, okay, that looks mostly fixed. Yeah, whew! I hate seeing stuff like that. So I guess when I scaled it out earlier and we made it wider, I must have broken it somehow. So anyway, looks mostly fixed now. Let me make sure that, inspect this model and make sure that it's not broken anywhere else. Throw the matte cap on so I can see the reflections. Just mostly concerned about reflections passing from one panel to the next cleanly. And they do still, it appears the doors, yep, reflections still pass cleanly through the door. Let's see. Try the trunk here. Yeah, reflections pass cleanly through the trunk gap there. About down here. And yeah, looks good. Okay, let's get back to what we were doing. We were going to start doing the underbody. Hey, I found the word. I found the word again. Let's see here. Just need more morning beverage. Just need a bit more morning beverage. Alright. So let's do the underbodies. And so the way I do that is, I probably should have done that before I did the lip, but I guess it doesn't matter. So I'm going to grab all the lip lines, just to kind of start with. Kind of like that. And I'm going to grab a little bit extra. So let's highlight this, and then I want to grab all of these in here. I'm going to grab, get under the car here. Sorry if it's a little disorienting. I'm trying to grab all these little bits through here. I want all that. I'm going to come back here to the back wheel. Oops. Hold up. I want all of these like that. And I'll probably hide that over there. And we're going to grab these here like so. Okay. And for now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it into a separate object. We'll put it back into this object later, but I find it a little bit easier to make these if they're a separate object. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Shift D and I'm going to duplicate. So now I have all these guys right here. Right. Let's go over here. Let's make sure that they're removed from the shrink wrap group. And then I'm going to hit P and separate by selection. And now I have this new object over here, which is just those. And that's kind of what I want. So I'm just going to name this Underbody, like so. Alright. So let's tab in here. And basically we're just kind of doing a little extrusions and filling and whatnot. So it should be pretty straightforward. Let's go from here to here. Let's grab those. Let's go into top view. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to highlight this guy. I'm going to extrude along the y-axis. I'm going to SY0. And then, so that lines up with that, and that'll make that into a quad. And then I'm going to do it one more time. And then I'll just SY0 and line it up with that one. So all I got to do now is, let me see here. I guess I can subdivide this like that, right? Can kind of do that, huh? So let me go ahead and fill these. Let me go ahead and, triangles don't matter down here. I'm going to get rid of this because the triangles don't matter. I'm going to delete that vertice. go ahead and fill that. Go ahead and fill that. And let's go ahead and make this into the triangle. Fill that. And then I'm going to fill, and then fill that. So then we have that. Whoa, okay. Try to zoom back in there. Alright, so now I got that one filled out. And that's just an underbody. And I got all this mean crease I don't want. So let me go ahead and highlight those. Hit N to open this back up. I'm going to zero out the mean crease. I don't need that. I also don't need the sharp edges. So I'm going to open up my Quick menu and smooth those edges. I want the mean crease there though still. So we'll leave that alone. Alright, so on to this bit. Connect from there to there. Alright, so let me go ahead and let's extrude this along the x-axis. Whoa, what happened? I moved it. I hit G instead of E. Hold on, let me get back on top view. Alright, let's try this again. Extrude along the X. There we go. I kind of want to line this up with this one, so I'm going to hit SX0, line that up. Okay. Deselect that guy. And let's extrude one more time. Now if you remember when I did the wheel wells, I lined them up as well, front to back. So they, did I? Maybe I didn't. I thought I did. Well, I can still do that. In fact, let me make sure I do that. I want to make sure that the front wheel well and the rear wheel well are in the same location. So let's make it lined up with the rear one. Let's make it rear one width, right? So SX0, there we go. That makes a little more sense. And what I should do also, while I'm here, I should taper these a tiny bit. I just want that selected. So let's go into side view. And I'm going to taper them just a little by scaling them. Hold on, I'm going to have to do bounding box center. I want to scale them in. I'm going to hit Shift X so that it doesn't move on the x-axis. I'm going to scale them in and maybe just move them down just a touch. And I don't want to do too much. Let me go take a look at that again. I don't want it too far down. It's too far down, so I'm going to scale it up on the Z. Actually, let me grab this guy. Turn that to active element. I'm going to scale it on the Z. I just want it tapered a little tiny bit inward. And the idea here is to kind of help it hide the chassis a little bit better, the automation chassis. But you don't want to scale it too much because it'll clip into the tire. So I basically am trying to scale it so that it's only a tiny bit smaller than the outer lip. And that should work okay. I'm going to do the same thing over here. We'll get back to the other part here in a second. Let me make sure I'm back on bounding box. Let's go ahead and scale it just a touch, like that. Move it down, like so. And then go ahead and highlight this. Make this active element, scale Z. Okay. And then we can get back to our underbody, which it's going to be a little out of alignment now, so I'll have to come back and line it up later. Which it might be easier. No, I'm just going to line it up later. It should be fine. It shouldn't be too far off either. So let's get back into our underbodies. Back to what we were doing before I get distracted a lot. Alright, so yeah, we had done that. So what I wanted to do is line that up with the back and the front. So I think we went to the back side. So I'm going to make this the last one. I'm going to hit SX0 and bring everything out to where the back is. So that should still be the same with the part, because when I scaled that fender well in, I didn't scale it this direction. I scaled it in the Y and then in the Z axis, but not the X axis. So it might be off on the Z axis a little bit, but it's not going to be off on this axis. So anyway, let's go ahead and we'll give this a fill right there, and then I can just select that and hit F all the way down. And you see I still have this mean crease going on that I don't want. So let me go ahead and select all these. Let's turn that mean crease off. And let's get rid of those sharp edges too. by smoothing the edges. Alright, there we go. Alright, let's go ahead and fill this. Hit F, hit 2 to get into edge select mode, and then just F all the way down until it's full. Okay. And actually I'm thinking, because this is kind of roundy looking, right? We don't really want that, do we? What happens if I increase the outside? Nothing really happens. Happens if I sharp edge the outside. Nothing really happens. Alright, well, we're just going to leave it alone then. It is what it is. We will fix it later. As needed. Fix as needed. It should come out exactly the same. So anyway, let's see. How do I want to do this one? I think we're going to go... Let's extrude this to, let's say, here. So extrude along the Y. And I'm going to hit that guy. And I hit SY0. Okay. So that will do that. And let's see, how do I want to connect all of these? Actually, I think I'm going to need some extra geometry in here. So let me go ahead and Control R and make a loop so that that has something to connect to. Go ahead and fill that. Let's see, from here to here and here to here, we can go ahead and fill. We can make this into a triangle. It doesn't matter. And then we will go ahead and give this a fill. And let me throw in another edge loop here. And yeah, what I might need to do is that, and then I will do that, and I will merge at last, like that. There. Go ahead and fill that, and fill all the way down till we're done. Okay, so those are our underbodies. Still have this mean crease thing going on here, so I want to make sure that we get that removed. Make sure we get rid of this sharp edge smooth. Alright, so the next thing to do while we're here, I'm going to highlight everything, and I'm going to jump into my overlays menu, and I want to check the face orientation box. As you can see, we got faces facing all kinds of directions here. So to fix that, we're going to hit Shift N, and this is still backwards. So actually, this one is correct. We want the faces to be facing down. So that one's correct. Let's go ahead and hit Control and just box select that. And I'm going to hit Shift N again, and we'll just click this inside box, and I'll flip those around. So now we got everything facing the way we want it to. Okay. So let's go ahead and overlay that with the body. And yeah, you can see it doesn't quite line up anymore, does it? So let's get into multi-object editing mode. Let's grab that, and we'll grab this, and I'm going to tab in. And what I want to do is just move this guy until it's in the same location as the other one, like that. And it's still not connecting, and that's because we have a subdivision surface modifier on our... How did I go over this before? I've not had this issue yet. I'm trying to remember what I did to combat this problem. I got the kind of the same thing going on here, don't I? This should be connected back here. What is going on? I did something that's not quite... Did I not select everything from here? Okay, let me look in here. Yeah, I don't have all the vertices I need. Okay, well, it's easy enough to fix. Let's just go in here and make sure we have this one. Should have all these. I'm just going to hit Shift Duplicate, separate with a P. Alright, now let's hide the body. Let's grab this piece, and I'll hit Control J to join them together. Let me highlight everything, and I'm going to remove doubles to link those together. Okay. This needs to be connected back here. So what I'll do is I'll grab these. I'm just going to move them along the y-axis, I think. Yeah, till we're here. Then I will fill this, and that'll give us quad right there. And this should be filled here, so this will be a triangle. Now let's take a look at that. There. So yeah, you see I don't have an issue here. Everything's about where it should be. Did I grab the wrong? Oh, that's the wrong one. Hold on. That's the wrong car. That's the right car. Okay. So yeah, anyway, yeah, it's got this little, maybe what I need to do, is there something I need to do here? Do I need to mean crease this and hit a sharp edge on it or something? What is my trick? None of that's doing anything. Maybe I just need to get rid of... I don't want to get rid of the subsurf modifier. I want everything to line up when it's all said and done. Alright, well, let's try multi-object editing again. And we'll just get it lined up, and if I have to deal with it after the fact, then I have to deal with it after the fact. But I just kind of want to get this wrapped up, because this is not really a complicated task. For whatever reason, I'm complicating it today. Alright, let's try... Yeah, you belong with you. And move you over here. So you're about lined up. Okay. That pretty much takes care of the underbody. So, what we'll do is we'll join them back together in one group. What I want to make sure I do, though, before I do that, is I'm going to tab into the car. I'm going to make sure auto merge editing is off. I don't want auto merge editing on. Yeah. And then, so the next thing I'm going to do is, we can get rid of these. Is that what was going on? Whoa, wait, what? What weirdness just happened? Hold on, let me undo that. I thought I had already removed all this from the shrinkwrap modifiers. It should be no problem getting rid of them. That is weird. Why is it doing that? Oh well. No, I guess I'll just leave it for now. I don't know why. Nothing's assigned to it. Why it matters. Just it wants to do that weirdness. Well, that's an oddity. That's an oddity I can ignore, though. So what I need to do is I need to add another group. I'm going to call it the hide me group, because it's not going to get UV unwrapped. So when I go to unwrap this, I want to be able to hide it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to assign it with a weight of 0, though. I don't need any weight on it. Assign it to hide me group. So let's make sure that worked. I'm going to deselect, go to hide me, hit select. It works. All right. Now I can join them together. So I'm going to click on this one first, right? I'm going to hit Shift and click on the car, then Control J, make it back into one object. So now when I go in here, I can grab the hide me group, I can select it, and go ahead and hide it. So now it's not going to be a problem. Alright, anyway, let's see, next is going to be bounds boxes. Let's get this blue overlay off of here. Kind of funny looking, ain't it? Alright. Pardon me while I morning beverage some more here. I'm going to pour myself some more. Now I'm going to do the bounds boxes now. And same thing, I'm going to make them a separate object. And I keep intending to make this part of my startup file so I don't have to keep making them over and over again. And in fact, yeah, let me go ahead and open up a second instance of Blender. Oh, come on, you're fine. It's giving me a little error. There it goes. Every now and again I get this weird, it needs an OpenGL 3.3. It's like, well, I have that. The latest drivers. Quit bothering me. Anyway, I'm going to open up the Econoline. The Econoline has all the goodies. Let me go ahead and open up the Econoline here. And I want to steal. I want to mostly just steal the bounding boxes. So let me see. I should have saved those somewhere. Spare parts. I should have. Are these the bounds? Let me deselect some of this stuff. There we go. I don't need to see the armature. So, are these the bounds? Right here? What am I seeing the whole... I'm seeing a whole vehicle. Oh, right there. That's why. There's the bounds. Okay, cool. So, I'm just going to steal these guys. And so I'm going to hit Control C to copy. Then I'll go into the other instance of Blender. Let me just hide this real quick so I don't have to look at it. I'm going to hit Control V and paste. And where did that go? It put it somewhere. It's not there. I gotta figure out where it put it. That's one thing about... Is it in backups? Did it end up in here? It did. It ended up in here. Yeah, okay. So what I want to do then is I want to move this. Let's just move it into the scene. Then I can delete that. I can go back to hiding the backups here. And I can go back to hiding the car. And there we go. Okay. So we'll just steal these. And this is not something that you need a tutorial on how to make like these shapes, right? Like this is a box, and this is a box with a loop cut in it, and oh, they're triangulated. So let's detriangulate these. I think it's Alt J. Yeah, Alt J takes the triangles out. So yeah, we don't want the triangles in it right now because we got to reshape all of these, obviously, and they should be materialed, but yeah. So let's see. Let me jump in here. I'm going to delete the materials I don't need, like paint, window trim, windows, lip placement, paint two-tone, trim, plastic, but I need this, lower cabin, cargo, driver, bonnet. You see it has 0.001. That's because I copy-pasted it. So I'm just going to change them to what I'm using in my file. So what is this? Cabin bounds. Let's just get this one. Cargo bounds is this one. Driver cam is that one. Bonnet cam. And these materials already exist in my level because of the materials cube that I'm going to make part of a downloadable file for you guys here once this whole stream is done. So you'll just be able to download all the materials you'll ever need to do a mod. But it's just not complete yet. I have to do more opaque glass. I have to do more glass. Probably have enough panels. You know, I'll probably do some more of the car body materials, but it's almost done. And once it's finished, I'll go ahead and make this so that you can make this your startup file if you want, or just make it a file that you can use to start making bodies with, because it has a wheel level in it also with all little stuff for making wheels. And so I'll put a bounding boxes bunch in here too, just to make life simpler. So anyway, let's go ahead and I'm going to rename this to bounds like that. And let's go ahead and get it back into the car. There, okay. So we're just going to resize the various objects here. But I'm going to click in here, deselect. I'm going to select by material. So let's see. Let's start with the lower bounds. Select the lower bounds, and we're going to just kind of move it until it's in the right place, and we'll scale it till it's the right size. It's probably going to be right about there, I'm thinking. Maybe there. Alright, let's get the cargo bounds done now. So I'm going to select by material. We'll just scale that guy. Make sure I'm not... Let me go in here and make sure I have... Oh, I don't have the mirror modifier going, which is why it's Okay, so I'll just have to be careful, and I'm going to scale and shift X so that I don't lose my X dimension. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so now let's just kind of move this guy, throw it in X-ray mode. This car doesn't have a lot of cargo space, so let's make sure that it doesn't get a lot of cargo space. So something like that is probably fair. That's probably a fair amount of cargo for this car. That's a lot, actually. I mean, the wheel well would take away from some of the cargo, so let's make it a little bit skinnier. It's kind of like split the difference. We'll hold on, let me put this onto 3D cursor. There we go. And then I'm just going to kind of throw it maybe there. That way the wheel well takes out some cargo space, but you know, you're just going to kind of judge it, because you get a square. You know, cargo spaces aren't square in real life, but you get a square to work with. So you just got to kind of fake it a little bit, you know. You know, if this were when this is a soft top convertible, because this is a hard top, actually hard top convertibles in the game are supposedly like retracting, which is kind of weird, I think. I don't understand entirely. Maybe I should make this kind of a convertible sized amount of cargo, because if it were a convertible, like that would be your cargo box, because your convertible has to fit in here. So let's do that. Let's just, you get no cargo for you. You get no cargo. It's a freaking sports car. You know, you should not be able to meme it for other crazy uses. You know, it's already going to get a bunch of V16 memes with blowers, like double blowers sticking out the hood and everything else. It doesn't need to be a cargo meme as well. Okay, so now let's go ahead back to materials, and we'll select the cabin mounts. And we'll just move that into position over here. And let's just, oh, now I need to go back to bounding box center. Scale, shift X, till it makes a little bit of sense. That's actually pretty good, huh? It needs to come in. So back to 3D cursor, scale along the X. And I'm just going to kind of, because it's tapered, I'm basically going to try to split it right down the middle here so that it's sticking out roughly the middle. Just so that the math it'll make a little more sense. And I need to do the same thing with the front and the back, and it's pretty much cut off in the middle on the front and the back. So I think that's pretty accurate. That'll be fine. Okay, so getting back into X-ray mode. Let's grab, this is the, which one are you? I think you're the driver cam. Let me go ahead and select by material. Yeah, that's the driver cam. So we're just going to move that into where the driver's head would be. And we'll just move that about there. Okay, and then that leaves the bonnet cam here. And that just goes, you know, right about there. And so that takes care of our bounds boxes. So next thing I'm going to do, the thing for me though is I don't like to see it, and so I'm going to leave it a separate object for now. We'll come back and we'll skin it as a separate object when we do our weights and everything, because it's really easy to weight your bounding boxes. It's not a difficult process. Skinning the car can be a little bit of a pain, which is I think that's where we're at. I think we're at that point where we're about ready to start doing morphs and stuff. So yeah, actually that is where we are. So the bounding box is mostly done. As long as I remember to apply it before, you know, as long as I remember to join it to the car before I apply the mirror to the car, the bounding box will be mirrored, and all of the morphs will be mirrored as well. So yeah, let's just hide the bounds for now, I think, because we're done with those, right? Yeah, they're done. Nothing else I need to do. They're set up. Let me make sure that this isn't too wide. It's not. That's just about right. Okay. I think maybe it's a little, it seems like it might just be a little too long, this lower bounds. Just a tad. Let me just scale that back just a little bit to something like that. I think that'll make more sense. I don't want it to be, yeah, no, I think that's probably pretty good. Let me make sure also that my cabin is not clipping. The cargo can clip into your lower bounds, but the cabin I don't think is supposed to. So yeah, it's not clipping in, and really you need to be concerned about, is this lower than this point? You know, and that's the real trick, because this will actually be given an actual bound box in the game. We taper it in case of some kind of angle change, so if the car is tilted, or I still don't quite understand why it's done that way. It doesn't really matter to me. The point is that this point needs to be lower than this point, and it is. So that's all taken care of. So let's go back and go ahead and hide that. Have some more morning beverage. And we are going to start, let's start skinning. So skinning, the way I do it, and let me click on this, let me unhide that, because that needs to be weighted as well. The way I do skinning is with weight painting in Blender, and it's not the easiest process. Hold on a second, I got to change something about this. Let me make this 1 centimeter. There's some visual clipping that has to do with anti-aliasing in 2.8 that I'm not super happy about. They've improved it a lot, but it causes a semi-X-ray to appear in places where I don't want to see it. But that's not really doesn't have anything to do with this. Where was I? Oh yeah, we're skinning. Anyway, I was talking about how I do skinning with weight painting in Blender. So yeah, let's walk through it. Let's just do it step by step, and rather than sitting here and explain it, let's just get it. Let's just do it. All right, so I'm going to hit Shift A, and we're going to start with a single bone armature. And let me go into the little settings section of it here, and I want to hit names. I want to be able to see the name, so it's named bone, and we're going to change that. And I want it in front, so I see it in front of the model at all times. So let me jump into edit mode. I'll select it. I want to make it a little smaller. I don't need a gigantic bone. That's what she said. And I'm going to rename this to bone space root, like so. And I think this is, I don't think it really matters that much, but there is something in the wiki about naming this specifically bone root with a space in it. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. So what we're going to do with bone root is I'm going to jump over here to the car and do a couple things. I'm going to go over to the modifiers tab, and I'm going to add, actually hold on a second, we're done with shrink wrap. Yeah, we can, we're not going to be doing any more shrink wrapping on this model. So, what I should do though, let's make one last backup of this model. One last backup. So I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to call it pre-skin backup. And we'll just move this into the backups folder. Didn't go. Yeah, there we go. Move it into the backups folder. There. Okay. So I have 2 armatures. I don't have 2 armatures in here. That's weird. Oh, you know what? I bet it imported one when I imported the bounding boxes. Which was in here, wasn't it? It was. Alright, I don't need this guy. I'm going to delete that one. Okay. So anyway, now we're back down to 1 armature. So let's see. Let's tab in here. I need to highlight everything. Right? And I need to come over here and... Oh wait, I'm going one step too far. I was going to apply the shrink wrap one last time. So let's go ahead and apply the shrink wrap. Boy, did that screw up the door or what? What is going on there? Why did that? Oh man, come on. That should not be that way. Look at what it just did. Man, don't do that. Well, I gotta figure out what's going on with that. It shouldn't change, you know. Let's try copy, apply, and then maybe just get rid of this one. What the hell? Oh man, I think I might have a bug. Oh, that should not do that. It should not. When I apply this, it should just apply it and be done. But it's not. Oh, you know what I have to do? Oh, that's right. Oh, that's fine anyway. I know what I'm doing wrong. It's me. You have to apply the subsurf modifier first. Then you can apply the shrink wrap. That's what I'm doing wrong, because I'm trying to apply shrink wrap before I apply the subsurf. So the order of the stack is important. You know, when you're dealing with modifiers, the order of the stack matters. And oh, tech support has arrived. One of my biggest cat just jumped right in front of me. Come on, buddy. I don't need your help right now. Thank you, though. I appreciate the attention, but I'm busy. Okay, so let's have a look here. What was I talking about? Oh, right. I was talking about stack order. So modifier stack order is really important. Modifiers get applied from top down. So when you have something like a shrink wrap and it's below a subsurf modifier, it's not really going to work unless you... That might be the reason why I've been having so many issues the whole way around, is because I keep copying and applying the shrink wrap. I think when I do my next model, I'm going to try to avoid applying any shrink wrap modifiers before I apply the subsurf, because it does create a few issues. Anyway, so what we have to do is apply, and because we're going to skin it anyway, and we have to apply the subsurf to do the skinning. So we're going to apply that now, and then we'll apply the shrink wrap. Bam, there we go. Now it works. And this is the mesh we have to work with. And what do we got? 11,000 tries. That is a really low... No, it's 23,000. 23. That's really good, though. 23,000 tries for a total model. That's pretty solid, I think. Not bad at all. Cool. That'll perform very well. The van I did, the last van I did was something like 40,000 tries, and it works fine too. So there's quite a bit of leeway. You can get, because it's a static game, right? Automation's kind of just a game that doesn't move, so performance is pretty easy to deal with. Although I haven't tested it in BeamNG. I should probably do that. Anyway, let's get back to where we were. So we applied the modifiers. Now I can go into here. We don't need these groups anymore. Shrink and Shrink 2 can go away. The hide me group I need to keep. And so now what I'm going to do is name a group bone space root. I'm going to set the weight to 1. And we are going to assign... Close that. I don't need that. We're going to assign a weight of 1 to every vertice in the mesh with the bone root. Okay, this is going to be kind of, this is the reservoir of weight that we pull from when we do weight painting. So we want to assign it a weight of 1 and we'll leave it unlocked. Okay, so now what we do is we go back into the bone, go into edit mode, and what I can do is I can duplicate it, right? And let's, which bone, what do I want to do first? Let's do wheel morphs first, I think, today. So let's just kind of put this into a position right in the middle of the wheel water there. And we'll pull it out here along the x-axis a ways. And then let's give that bone r.quarter for rear quarter panel. Now I have to parent this guy. So what I need to do is I need to, while it's selected, I think I need to go back to object mode because it's a separate thing, isn't it? No, it's there. So in edit mode, we'll select that, right click, parent, make, and then keep offset. And so now you get this little dashed line, so that parents it to this bone. So now it's in a hierarchy. And we need that for weight painting and everything else. So that'll be our right quarter. And let's duplicate that one. So everyone I duplicate now is going to automatically be parented. So I only have to do the parenting once. So let's just get that into position there. And we're going to name that guy r.fender for the right front fender. Okay. I'm going to try to start a revolution here of actually calling car parts by their actual names. I was an auto body man and a painter in real life for quite a long time, and so when I hear people call this rear fender, it just makes me cringe because it's not what it's called. This is a quarter panel. You know, this is a cowl. This is, you know, this down here. If there was something down here, it would be called a valance. So anyway, let's go back. Oh, right. Now that everything's applied, let's go back in. Before we go any further, let's just fix up the mesh. Right. So let's just move these guys to where they make sense. Actually, hold on. We'll just scale Z0 that one. Whoops. Go back to active element, scale Z0. Let's go to the back side over here and fix these up. Like so. Scale Z0. Okay. And then I kind of want to fix up these, right? Yeah, because these never did get perfectly lined up. So let's just try to get them lined up. Get a little closer. This might be a little bit fiddly. It might take a second for me to do it. I mean, double check that auto merge editing is off because I don't want these to get stuck together. I could probably snap. If I turn on snapping, maybe I'm not super like familiar with snapping. It's not really my thing. I'm gonna turn it off. I'll just do it manually. There's a way to snap this to where you could snap it perfectly to this vertex, but since I don't know how to do it, I'm not gonna like make you watch me learn. I'll just learn offline, and then maybe the next time I do a video, I'll be able to teach how to do proper snapping technique, and so that I don't have to like spend so much time doing this. But this isn't going to take all that long, right? Right? Make sure that we're there. Just fiddly, fiddly, fiddly till we get where we need to be. We're right about there. We're getting there. Okay, that's good. As long as it makes a nice clean looking line like that. Oh, that's another thing I meant to do. We need to smooth everything. Smooth the faces so that I don't get that clunky look in there. Okay, so let's line these up here. Same fiddly thing. Oh, I have more tech support arriving. Man, I'm popular today with tech support. This one's just trying to get to the shelf on top of the computer. He wants to take a nap, I think. You want to take a nap? You looking to take a nap, buddy? Alright, that's good. Alright, and then this guy here. I don't normally have to do this, so I don't really know what I did wrong along the way. But, you know, whatever. It is what it is. It's a minor thing. It's a minor inconvenience. And it's about fixed anyway. Up one there. And so, yeah, that looks good over there. I'm going to do the front side. Just kind of zip on over here. Ooh. Again, I apologize if I'm giving you like vertigo. Alright. Something like that. Something like there. Let's move that into position about there. Probably work better if I did it this way, but I can't really see what's going on, can I? Actually, that actually works pretty good. Yeah, that just makes it okay. Why haven't I been doing that? All right, let's get over here. Figure out what's out of alignment here. Whoa! Oh dear. Okay, so I added some extra vertices I didn't need, didn't I? Oh boy. Basically don't need any of this, do I? That? Where are we at here? What do I not need? So this one should probably go here. Right? About like that. And then I'm guessing that one should go there. I don't think that's how that's supposed to go. How was going to end up playing out? This is going to end up needing to move over here. I know how I ended up with this so out of whack. It's because I tried to fill it in. Yeah, I screwed myself up when I tried to fill this in a little bit earlier. Oh dear. Well, what would be the easiest way to remedy this then? I guess we'll just put that guy there. Okay, so now I have this one, that's pretty close. So we'll put that one here. I think it's probably here. Probably, I don't know if it's that one or not. No, it wasn't that one. It's the next one over. It's this one here. It's that guy. That's what I'm after. Okay. Alright, and then I'll grab probably this one. And we'll end up deleting this guy and this guy. So we'll take this one and we'll move that one over here, which is there. So I'll put that one there. This is super fiddly. Again, I apologize for the detour. It's not helpful to anyone. Alright. Almost done though. We've almost got this worked out. One last to go. Right there. And then I think what I'll do is I'll take the rest of this line and I'll just scale Y0 and make it look like that. Okay. Alright. And, oh, I got this kind of issue going on. Come on, man. Not helpful. Alright. So we're not done. Still fiddling. Probably got to make sure that this isn't an issue on the other side. On the rear, over here. Yep, it is. Just... Oops. No. I don't want these to be lined up. Okay. Good grief. Boy, was that a detour. Alright, let's get back to skinning. So we've got the bone set up, right? We have bone root, and we have them all parented. So what I need to do now is make sure I add the armature modifier, which is, where are you at? Right here, armature modifier, and we're going to just select armature, and I think we're going to be below the mirror, if I'm not mistaken. So the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to get set up for weight painting. And you know, this material is, I'm sorry, I keep getting distracted by stuff. This material is going to drive me nuts. Let me get into face select mode here. I want that and that. I see it and I'm going to forget about it. So we're going to make this plastic. I'll sign it there. That's all I want to do. And probably grab these edges here that are sharp, or at least that one. There's not one on the front. They make it smooth. Smooth the edge. There. Okay. Back to what we're doing. All right. I want to get in here and I want to select the vertices I want to impact with the morph. So it'll be actually this guy should be about here. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and grab that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. And we're going to start grabbing loops all the way around, about like so. And I think we're actually going to do this one as well. Actually, no, I don't think that's a good idea. I think we better stick with the shape. So what I have to do now is go into X-ray mode and make sure I have, I'm going to use circle select. Make sure I have all these little guys in here selected as needed. They all need to be part of, see how some of these aren't selected? They all need to be part of the group that's getting weighted and moved around. So kind of same thing here. These guys are going to need to move along. And yeah, I think that's about it. The rest don't need to move. Kind of need to do the same thing over here. These two are probably going to need to go. That one's definitely going to need to be part of it. So I guess let me go ahead and just kind of move it real quick and see if I have any conflicts. I don't know. Looks okay. Just checking to see if I have anything missing, if anything's getting left behind before I start weighting. Okay. Alright, so that's going to be our fender morph. So what we'll do is we'll go from here. Now that we have this selected, we're going to go into weight paint mode. And now we have to set up weight paint mode. We need to go, first of all, and we need to go over here and we need to add the names of these bones, right? So we need R dot quarter, and I need R dot fender. R dot fender, like that. Okay, so I need those so I have vertex groups to paint with. So I'm going to be painting on the rear quarter vertex group in weight paint mode here. Now let's get set up. I'm going to do this button here, which will highlight what I have highlighted in edit mode. So this is called masking. Then I'm going to come over here to brush, make sure I have unified strength so that when I switch brushes, the strength stays the same. Let's see, I'm going to, all the rest of this is fine. Everything else happens up here. I'm going to grab a mix brush, make sure the weight is at 1, but strength is at, let's call it 0.1. That's from curve. I'm going to set it to a flat curve because I want everything that's inside this circle to be set to the same weight. I want it all to be set. Then let's see, over here in brush I have to do 2D fall off and auto normalize. So that should set up weight paint mode. There's one other thing I need to do. I need to come over here real quick. Let's go back into object mode. I need to go into pose mode for this bone, which I'll get to by hitting Control Tab. And I need to move this bone a little bit. And I'm going to move it, you know, half a meter maybe. I think I was moving it a little too much in previous videos. I'm going to move it a little bit less this time, because I want to make sure that I have like a minimum amount of weight. Like what I was doing was I put the bone a couple of meters, maybe a meter or a meter and a half out, and then I would just start weight painting from a low weight, and it was kind of causing me some issues. I had very low weight morphs. So I want to have a minimum amount of weight to start with. So Anyway, in order to, let's get back to object mode. So now you'll see in object mode the bone stays where I placed it, and then I can go back into weight paint mode, and we can, maybe I want it 0.2 to be my minimum amount of weight. If 0.2 is my minimum amount of weight, and oh, one more thing I need to do, X-ray mode. I need to really be in X-ray mode to do this. If I do that, okay. So that's my minimum amount. I'm going to go back now to object mode, and I want to select pose mode here and get out of, and I'm going to move the bone back until I have just like the minimum amount of movement going, I think. Okay, I don't want this line to move too much, I don't think. I've got to be careful about the reflections. Let me go ahead and turn on the matte cap. I'm going to move it out until the reflections start becoming a problem. See, right here, reflections are definitely a problem, so that's too much. So probably about there is about the maximum amount that we can move that. And see, I'm having a little bit of reflection issues here, so let me move it back in a little bit more. Well, I mean, I have to move it some. I've got to move it at least that much, I think. Okay. Let me go back into object mode. Let's go back in here. So now that we've moved this, I can deselect. This is where it gets a little bit fiddly, but I'm going to deselect this line all along here and make sure in X-ray mode that I've deselected the little bits like right in here as well. Okay, now we go back to weight paint mode, and we're going to change our weight now to just like 0.002, and we'll start adding weight like that. Is that not enough? It probably need to be a little bit heavier. How about 0.01? It's moving. So let's make it a little bit, let's make it, how about 0.03? There it goes. And it's starting to move a little bit better now. Alright, so, I'm just going to, oh, you know what I need to do? No, I already did that, didn't I? Didn't I already remove the shrink wrap and everything? I already did the shrink wrap, so that shouldn't be a problem. I feel like it's moving the wrong way. Is it moving the wrong way? No, it's moving the right way. I'm just being weird. Don't mind me. Alright, so the thing about weight painting, it's kind of difficult to see really what you're doing. I may come back and subtract some of this here in a while, but okay, let's go ahead and deselect this rim here, and same thing, make sure we're in X-ray mode and we're deselecting anything that's like this guy right there needs to be deselected. Alright, back to weight paint mode, and let's go ahead and add some more weight. Let me just open this up. I want to see. Oh, look at that. It's too much weight now. There's no way this is going to work. Look at how much weight I've got. I've got almost all the weight. I'm almost maxed out. As you can see, it's subtracting from the bone root. So 0.2 was too much to start with. So let's go back. We're going to undo, if we can. Actually, what I might do to make this a little bit easier is, rather than undoing, is I'm going to just go here to rear quarter. I'm going to set the weight to 0, and I'm going to assign, hold on, I've got to go to edit mode. Let's go ahead and reselect everything that we had selected here. Alright. Oops, didn't have that selected before. Let's go ahead and reselect. Oh, reselect that. We'll reselect these. And I'm going to just assign it a weight of 0. And then I'm going to go back to bone root and make it 1. There, that should reset everything. Now let me go double check with, let's see, vertex group weights, and make sure that everything is as it should be. There we go. Okay, everything looks right. So everything's back to being zeroed out. So, okay. If 0.2 was just way too much to start with, 0.1 is probably too much to start with also. So let me try something like 0.05 as a starting weight. Okay. That might not be bad. Now let me go back into object mode. I'm going to move this. Hold on, object mode. There we go. Let me go ahead and move this in pose mode. Actually, I need to constrain this just so I don't have to keep. I want to constrain this to move on the x-axis only, so I don't have to keep hitting X every time I want to move the bone. And do the same thing with this one over here. And just lock them out up here so that they only move on one axis. Alright, so now let's move it with a weight of 0.5 until we have kind of our base amount of movement that we want. So that probably makes a little more sense. Okay. Now, one more thing I might be able to do. I'm going to untick lock object modes. What that should allow me to do, and it's a little fiddly, and I think it's a beta issue, it should allow me to just go between pose mode and, yeah, there. See, I should be able to just click from the bone to the car without having to keep switching into object mode. It's just getting in and out of weight paint mode can be a little bit hokey. Alright, so anyway, I don't need to see that anymore, do I? It actually might be a little bit better view. No, that's a worse view. I don't like that one. Alright, let's deselect that. What about with X-ray on? I guess it doesn't really matter too much. That's probably actually a little... I don't know. It's hard to see anything, really. So let's just get into weight paint mode here. And alright, we're going to keep adding weight. So let me go with a lower amount. Do 0.01 maybe? Yeah, 0.01 is actually kind of a lot now. So we'll do a couple of 0.01s. And you can see it's pulling these vertices over here the other direction. So that's something we can fix later, or it's something that I can just show you how to deal with now. So let's just get that out of the way. Let me really quickly tab back into edit mode and then object mode so I can see what that has done weight wise. Did I forget to... I think I forgot to unhighlight that. So let me undo what I've just done here. Yeah, because I think I forgot to deselect this line after I set the first amount of weight. Alright, so just making sure I've got everything that needs to be deselected. Alright, let's get to this here. So I'm going to go into edit mode. I believe I need to be in edit mode with the bone selected. And what I can do is I can just hit this symmetrize button, and it's going to create another bone over here named L.quarter. I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to symmetrize, and I'll have an L.fender. Now, unfortunately, that doesn't create... See, now I can't switch from pose mode. See, so that whole thing here, lock object mode, is a little bit wonky still in the beta. So anyway, I need to go over here now, and I have to actually add those because it doesn't automatically add them. So I have the L.quarter and L.fender like that. And let me make sure that the armature, I believe, needs to be below the mirror in the stack. And now we can go back into pose mode, and we should be able to operate these independently of each other. Yeah, like that. So anyway, that's how you deal with the opposite side. So anyway, I need to go back in here. We need to get back into weight painting mode. Oops, I accidentally deselected. There. Okay, so what was I doing? 0.01. Oh, I'm in the wrong vertex group. Wait, let me make sure I undo. There we go. So it's right quarter. You don't have to weight the other one. It'll automatically transfer. You just do one side, the other side will automatically be done. So let's go ahead and add some more weight here. Maybe a couple, 2-3 clicks. Take a look at it in object mode. And I think I just need to do a few more. Go to weight paint. Okay, I think that last one might have been, well, that was probably good. Right there. Okay. So anyway, yeah, we just kind of like go through the motions now, where we just weight paint a line, deselect the masking, make sure we have these little guys not overlapping, come back over here, go back over to weight paint, add a bit more weight. Yeah, that's probably about right. Maybe, I don't think one more is, just trying to pay attention. Oh, one more was, I like it. I like it. We'll stick with it for now. Let's go back into edit mode, unhighlight this line. Same thing, make sure that we have these deselected. Make sure we have these deselected. Back into weight paint mode. Let's add some weight. Okay, that seemed like a good amount. How are we getting? All right, so these totals are making a lot more sense. 0.175. So yeah, we were running out of weight to use when I started that much heavier. So yeah, and we'll finish out around 0.2 or so, which is, or 0.3 maybe even. It'll be fine. It'll look good. All right. Okay, double check that it's not selected over there. Double check that nothing is selected over here. Back to weight paint mode. And go ahead and add one more weight. Like that. Okay. I may have to, this looks like, well, that's probably about right. That's probably how it's supposed to be. So, tab back into edit mode. That's a pretty big fender flare already. But it's not really, we can always adjust the size later. So if it's too much, it's not a big deal. You can just change the morph amount, as it were. So it looks like we're done with that. Let's deselect that. Zoom in a little closer and make sure I'm not, okay, that looks fine. We're almost done with this. We're almost done out here. Okay. Looking good. I'll go back into weight paint mode. Go ahead and add some more weight. That might have been a little too much. Yeah, that's pretty good right there. Maybe that'll do it. Let's take a look at this in object mode. There we go. Yeah, I think that's fine. That's about what a Cobra fender looks like. And now let's go into pose mode and we can play with it. Wah, raw. We can meme it, right? All right. So anyway, yeah, let's go ahead and clear user transforms. Now I just kind of want to observe the reflections. Make sure that they're just not too ugly. And oh, look at that. Something is amiss. Check that out. Right there. something is amiss. Right here, something's clipping through. So, I mean, that's a really big fender morph, though, but still, I might want to allow that, or, Let me think. What is causing... Let me take a look at it with the wireframe on. What's coming through? Okay, so it looks like it's probably this back edge that's coming through right here. I can get into edit mode. I'm not even have the right object selected. Alright, let me get into edit mode. Let me grab just this line here. And actually, let me grab both of these, just in case. And what we'll do... yeah, let me jump back in here, because I'm going to need... It's already morphed. We're fine. Is it morphed to where it's causing a problem, though? It's not. Okay, so I want to morph this until it's causing a problem. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to jump back to the car, jump back into weight paint mode, and I'm going to grab a subtract brush. And let's see if that fixes our problem. Whoa, hold up. 2D fall off. It's not selected on the subtract brush. Make sure, so you saw that with 2D fall off, it was not moving these back vertices. You need 2D fall off on. So does that work? Does that fix the problem? Yeah, that fixed it. So that's all it was. It's just that inner lip was starting to clip through the fender. Okay. Not too shabby. Okay. Alright. Now, reflections do get a little bit wonky back here, but that's a huge morph. I mean, I imagine, let me reset the transform. I imagine the maximum morph is going to be about here. And it's still got a little bit of a triangle-y, and that's just because of the shape of the mesh in this area, because it has this. And so there's not a lot I can really do about that. Other than just maybe not have this be quite so strong. So let's go ahead and jump back into edit mode. And let me grab that. Am I not in edit mode? I'm in edit mode for the bone. So let me grab that line. Is it this one? I think it's that one. Let me grab all that right there. Make sure that everything relevant is selected there. Yeah. We've got to make sure that we select the lower lip too. It won't automatically select. Okay. Now let me jump into weight paint and let me throw some subtractions on that and see what happens. It's probably just going to create some weirdness. It's going to probably make it worse. Because now it kind of dips down, and so it's probably worse. I would have to like subtract every line a little bit, but it might be worth doing. No, you know what? No, we're just going to leave it. We're just going to leave it alone. Maybe the way I can mitigate that is by adding a tiny bit of weight to this section to help it out. Let's experiment with that real quick. Let's jump back into edit mode and let's grab this line from there. Whoops, I don't want all of that. From there to here to here. Yeah, we'll grab that one all the way down to here. Now we'll make sure that we got. Hold up. Zoom in a little closer. I got that selected there. So I'm selecting those vertices for that lip there. Let's jump back into weight paint mode. go back to our mix brush. I'm going to add 0.002 amounts of weight at a time to this and see if we can't maybe just take the edge off of that a tiny bit. Take the edge off of that triangulation a little. Let's add a little bit more. Let's add a little bit more to it. Alright, back in object mode. I think that actually is helping a tiny bit. It's creating a big old flare. It's not really creating, I can keep adding weight as long as it doesn't create any new triangulation issues. Let's go back and let's add a little bit more. Yeah, that's actually, I think it's, I mean, it's still there. It's always going to be there. But I think it's probably better this way. And that's a pretty extreme morph. Hold on a second. I don't want to quit. Alright. So anyway, yeah, you can see kind of one of the cool things about this morph is this lip disappears, right? So you get kind of this little lip and then it just goes away. Kind of cool. So you gotta get two fender designs out of one. And oh dear, this doesn't look right. What's going on down here? I've got a little bit of weighting issues with the okay. Jump back in here. There's something wrong with the weight of this lower section. I think it's the underbody. So let's go into weight paint mode. I'm going to turn off masking for the time being. Boy, I can't see crap. So maybe I can turn on the wireframe though. Yep, there. Now I can see it more clearly. See the weights right in here. So what I'm going to do, let's go and grab this track brush and make this smaller, like maybe 20. And let's start subtracting weight from here until we get it lined back up. It's in the wrong place. Keep on going. Zoom in. There we go. Okay, same thing over here. I don't know how those got pulled out more. It's kind of, must have accidentally had them highlighted, and they shouldn't have been. Zoom in. We're just going to subtract away. There we go. Okay. So anything on the other side that's also wonky, or is it fine? This side seems okay. Alright. Let's jump back into object mode and make sure that that's still okay. Turn off wireframe because that's confusing. Okay, there we go. So there we go. Our rear morph, I think, is done. Oh, that's not pose mode. There we go. Alright. Looking good. Looking like a cobra. Rah. Looks like an AC ace. Looks like a cobra. AC ace. Cobra. Alright. Well, anyway, if you watched the first stream, or was it the second one? I think it was the second one where I actually did all the wheel wells. And you saw me spend a lot of time really trying to make sure I had plenty of geometry in here to work with. And that's why I did that, and I made them nice and big and gave myself lots of little loops so that I could do this. And so that was kind of the whole point. So anyway, moving on to the front one now. We kind of just got to do the same thing we did before. First thing, I need to switch over here to the right fender vertex group. Make sure I deselect everything. And we'll just kind of do what we did before. This is out of place. I'm going to move it back to where it belongs. That should be there. That should also have a sharp line. Should have a sharp edge on it. There it goes. Okay. Some of this other stuff is redundant. It doesn't really matter. So let's go ahead and start selecting our lines. Running ourselves around the fender as we did before. Oh, why does that have a sharp edge? Why do you have a sharp edge? Do you have a sharp edge or you... That should not have a sharp edge. Let's smooth that edge. Yeah, that should not have been a sharp edge. I don't know why that was. Okay. Let me see how many times I can repeat myself. Alright, let's go back here. And we're going to keep on selecting loops all the way around till we get to here. And let's grab one more. Do we want to grab this one? I think we'll treat this one like we did the last one, which is where we added a little bit of weight to it at the end. So we'll just do that the same way. So anyway, let's get that off of there. Okay. So remembering, we kind of need to go back through here and make sure we have the correct little guys selected as needed all the way through in there. Some of these don't quite line up, do they? Look at that, there's a little gap here. That's something I'll have to fix afterwards. Something I thought I already had fixed, but apparently not. Anyway, so moving on to this side. Get maneuvered into a position where I can just grab those guys. Try to grab that one. And make sure that, see, the lip is a little out of place over here too, isn't it? Yeah, there's a gap there also. So I won't torture you. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll fix that when I go to lunch, and I'll do it off camera so you don't have to sit there and watch me line up vertices again, but I'm going to at least weight them to this little setup here. So yeah, let's jump back into weight paint mode. I've got right fender selected, turn masking back on. Let's make this radius back to max size, which is 500 pixels. And what did I start at before? It was 0.1, wasn't it? Oh, and I removed the bone. I need to come back out here real quick. And I need to move this a bit. Okay, now we can go back in here, go into weight paint mode, and let's add our first weight. Didn't move. What did I do wrong? Didn't add it? Oh, it just didn't. It's not adding any weight because I got the subtract brush on. Maybe if I put the correct brush on. There we go. All right. So yeah, 0.1 was my starting point last time as well. And yeah, let's. I think that was too low, wasn't it? Yeah, something like 0.02, wasn't it? To add additional weight to it, that's too much. I think it was 0.005, wasn't it? Or was it 0.05? No, 0.02 was too much. 0.05 is going to be much more. 0.005. Yeah, I think it was 0.005. Alright, anyway. Let's pick an amount. I don't know if that might be a little bit much. So, let's take a look at that in object mode. And yeah, so we have the same triangulation we had before because of the way the mesh is there. And so we'll fix that the same way we did before as well. By we'll come back at the end and we'll kind of weight that. Actually, I need to take a good 5-minute break, so just hold on for a minute. I'll be back shortly. All right. Let's well, let me pour myself just another cup of morning beverage here, and there we go. Yeah, need my morning beverage. Alrighty, so we were weight painting, right? Alright, so let's see. Where did I leave off? I think I had just done all this, right? Did I deselect it? Yeah, I think I already deselected the line, if I'm not mistaken. Or did I? No, maybe I didn't. Okay, we need to deselect. If we're happy with the start of this morph, which I think may be a little too much. Maybe it's just a bit too much morph. Let's see if the undo key will help us out here. Just maybe I just want a little bit less. Oops, that was too much. Was it just because I didn't like the first amount? Maybe 0.1 was too much. Let's try 0.08. To start with on that one. And then, alright, yeah, go back to object mode, take a look. Yeah, I think that's probably better. That'll be easier to correct that little reflection issue that we have there. That's still going to be a pretty gnarly fender morph. So anyway, let's go ahead and now we deselect this line here, making sure that because you can see this is still highlighted right there, make sure that that's deselected. And there's nothing over here, I don't think. Well, no, that's right, we did have, yep, there it is. Got to deselect that guy as well. Okay, back to weight paint mode. And really, tech support, you're back? I just let you out and I just fed you. I literally just fed you. You have to not bother me all the time. I should turn my camera on at some point so you can see me and my tech support cats interacting. She keeps bugging me. I'm going to have to put her away again. Anyway, alright, so, and then, okay, so what did I decide on? 0.005, I think I decided on for my mix weight. Let's go ahead and start adding some more weight here. Just add a bunch and then I can always undo away excess weight. A little more. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, back to edit mode. So continuing on this basic path of just kind of like working around. You have to deselect all of those. Alright. Jump back into weight paint mode. Alright. Let's go ahead and try getting a little better view here. And add weight. About maybe there. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, back to edit mode. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Go ahead and deselect that guy. Let's go ahead and deselect that guy. Alright, back into weight paint mode. And we're going to go ahead and just add some more weight here. Just kind of following. Yeah, that looks about right, doesn't it? Okay. Go back into edit mode. Deselect this guy. Here, make sure that's deselected. Make sure that is deselected. Back into weight paint mode. And let's go ahead and... Oh, tech support is back. Knocking over boxes this time, huh? That's pretty normal. That's pretty normal behavior for you, isn't it? Alright, let's see here. One more, maybe? Let's see what that looks like. Let's go back into object mode. And yeah, you can see that our fender's sticking through again. So we're just going to end up going through here. No big deal. But before I do that, let me just make sure I'm happy with... Whoa. Hold on. All right, I'm going to put tech support away. Trying to climb on the monitors. Yeah. All right. Anyway, let's take a look at how this looks. So let me reset transform real quick. And then, yeah, kind of the same as the back. Is like it has a lip and then it doesn't have a lip. All right, so now all I got to do then is same as before. Just jump back in here. If it'll let me. Come on. There we go. All right, and the problem area was these guys. So we're going to select that line and select that line. Jump back into weight paint mode. Go with the subtract brush. And just subtract it a little bit. Subtract it, right? Doesn't seem to be moving. Well, it's counting down. It's not moving though. What is the dealio? I don't see it moving. I see it counting down, but I don't see it moving. Alright, I need that. Oh, I know why, because I'm an idiot. I moved the bone back. I put the bone away. Now keep the bone out. Man. Alright. Alright, switch. Subtract. There it goes. Hold on, I think I have the fall off thing again. No, that's right. Whoops. I'll get it right one of these days. Don't worry. Don't worry, we'll get it right. Alright, let's see how that looks. That should cure it. And it looks like it does. Okay. Now, I don't know if I'm going to actually end up with a morph that big. So kind of what I'm thinking here is I want this lip to go away, just like it does on the back. So let me just kind of like, let me pull the back out. That's going to be about like that. I think that'll be about maximum. Let me take a look at a picture of, let me pull this guy down here real quick. There we go. Let's take a look at pictures. You can see it's actually on some of these, it just depends on the car. Some of these, the whole fender, some of these are, it's a flare, and on like this kit car, the whole fender is a bulge. So we're doing more of the flare look, like this one here. Like, see, here's kind of, that one's like, well, that's more of a standard one. This one's got kind of a combination of the two. It's got a little flare and a bulging fender. Same thing here. It just really depends on the model. So, and then that one's kind of like a big flare. So, what am I talking about? Oh, I just wanted to see the sizes of how far they stick out. So, they're not real huge, right? But I think I'll add that as like a separate, maybe I don't know if I'm going to make it a morph target, I mean a shape key, or if I'm going to make it, we can try weighting it. We can try weighting like a fatter fender. Yeah, we can do that. Let's give that a try. Let's try, maybe so we can do the combination of the two, right? So, yeah. Anyway, so from here, so yeah, this one, I don't want to make this too big of a morph. We'll do something like, it'll be maxed out there. So from front view, if we grab the front one, right, yeah. We kind of want it to be somewhat even, right? So like that. So what I'll do then, because it's still got this little bit of a lip, I'm going to tab back in here, and I'm going to grab the actual lip of it from there and there. Oops, no. There. Now I'm going to subtract it a little bit, just a touch. Alright, so let's go back into weight paint mode. I think we already got our subtract brush going. Let's hit it with one. Let's hit it with a few subtractions. Let's try to get a decent view where I can actually weight paint and see what's going on. Yeah, see, it's doing that again. You know what I think has happened? I think my brush isn't flat. Did that happen? Go back into weight paint mode. Curve? Yeah, for some reason my curve got switched. My curve should be flat. Oh, I'll go back into edit mode. And, well, might as well, if we're going to subtract them, might as well do all those so we don't end up with any issues. There we go. Almost. A couple more. Maybe one more. Okay, that should get rid of the lip for the most part. So back into pose mode here. I feel like there's some kind of issue though. Not sure what. No, actually it's not. It's just the way the lip looks. It's just a fine lip. There's a little bit of a reflection kind of thing that I would like to see improved here. So maybe if I slide this back just a tiny bit, will that fix the reflections? Yeah, that seems to help a lot. Yeah, that helped. Yeah, because I was just having this weird, like, sharpening thing going on. So, yeah, that fixes it. Cool. Alright, all I had to do was edge slide that a tiny bit. And so that's pretty good. Huh? Okay, let's clear user transforms and jump into edit mode for these. I'm going to duplicate this guy and just move it out a little bit. I kind of want it to be on a different plane. Maybe I just want to move it up. Yeah. So let's name this R quarter plus, just to give it another name, and then we'll probably do we'll be able to bulge the fender out a little bit too, maybe. So let's give that a go. R fender plus. Okay. Now I've got to be careful when I do this. I have to make sure that it ends up weighing less than the morphs I already did, because these morphs are going to end up totally inside the next morph I'm going to do. So the next morph I'm going to do has to weigh less than the morph I just did. Otherwise, the game won't detect it. So I got to kind of figure out 0.23, 0.34, 0.34. Okay. just looking at my weight. So 0.23 looks like the heaviest I've got on this side, so I can't have anything heavier than 0.238. So what I'm going to do to combat that is I'm going to move this out further. I'm going to make that like a bigger thing. Let's just go ahead and move that one now while we're at it. Now, obviously we have to symmetrize these, right? So go back into edit mode, symmetrize, symmetrize. Okay, then I've got to go all the way over here to the car, and we've got to add all these vertex groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So our quarter plus, hold on one quick second there. Okay. Then our fender plus, then this will be L quarter plus, L dot quarter plus, and this one will be L dot fender plus. Okay. So let's see about getting a big old morph going here. Starting with that vertice, going all the way through here, here, working my way through here. I kind of want to keep on going, don't I? I don't want to pull this because that's a container. That's containing the reflections here. But I do want to involve this, so I got to kind of pick a transition point, and maybe that one would be a good transition point right there. We'll come all the way down to here, all the way around, like that. Okay, so I think what I can do to make my life easier here is I can just hit H to hide, then L to select that whole section, then Alt H, and now I've got everything, most everything selected that I need. Still need to go through here and select these various little bits along here. Kind of same thing along there. And doing the same little bits, going to make sure that this and that are all selected. Actually, no, I don't want those selected. Hold on. I'm going to do that real quick. I'm going to deselect. I don't want to actually move the inner fender liner. So we're going to deselect that, that, and that. I don't want those to move. I just want this section to move. Okay. So where are we at? R quarter plus, make sure I have that highlighted. And so let me jump into weight paint mode. Make sure I get my mix brush. And I'm going to set the weight to, call it 0.05. And we're going to kind of just give it some weight. Yeah. That'd be kind of cool if that's all I needed to do, huh? Let's have a look. Maybe that is all I need to do. Just kind of... No, you know what? I want to... Alright, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep weighting it, but it's just going to be... It's going to be one of those deals. I don't know, man. What shall I do? Let me take a look at the mesh here. So I've got, what, 1, 2, 3... So yeah, we'll just keep waiting for a bit. We'll, let's deselect that line. We'll deselect that one. And we'll deselect this one, making sure we don't have any extra stuff like this over here selected. Okay. Back into weight paint mode. And let's change this to 0.005. Trying to get it a little here. I kind of want to just keep on pulling that. this looks extreme. I'm not going to allow this much of a morph, but I'm just trying to get, if you make an extreme pull like that, you'll have an easier time seeing that it stays even, if that makes any sense, as you transition along here. So now let's go ahead and deselect that and this. And, well, I guess we're going to, hold on, what did I just, so I deselect, maybe I'm going to, no, we're going to deselect that. That deselects this whole line, huh? So I guess we're deselecting that too. Oops. And we're going to deselect that. Make sure that's deselected. Alright, give it just a little bit more, and we're almost, I don't really want to add too much more to this morph. It's going to start looking really funny. Here, let's give that a look. Let's see how that translates. Oops. I ended up in the wrong mode. This is the one we want here. So I think it's just going to be a little one like this. Very, very mild. Oh, you know what else I forgot to do? It might have caused me a problem. Ooh, look at that. Look how ugly that reflection is, though. Hey, maybe I can fix that, but yikes. Alright, let's see if I can just kind of... This will take a little bit of manual weight painting, but I mean, the idea of this is like, we'll be able to morph a little bit here, and then we'll be able to morph a little bit here. You know, so you kind of morph inside of a morph. Things are okay. One thing I should have done before I started doing this is, let me make sure that morph is still not broken, because I might have just broken it doing what I did. Okay, what I needed to do is go to the car, and I should lock these, right? Right quarter, where's the right quarter? Right quarter and right fender. I need to lock those so that it won't steal any weight from them while it's auto-normalizing. So anyway, getting back to this. Let's see if I can just kind of manually fix this. So let me go and throw on the wireframe, and oh, look at that. That should actually be pretty easy to fix, because yeah, that's kind of obvious, isn't it? So let me jump into weight paint mode and grab the subtract brush, and let me make it smaller. And all I gotta do is put that back where it belongs. Probably there. About where it belongs. Okay. So apparently I had that vertice selected accidentally and added a bunch of weight to it. So that's what's causing that weird reflection issue. I mean, that's kind of a tortured part of the mesh anyway. So it didn't help that I had that all messed up. Okay. Go ahead and clear transforms. In the back it definitely looks fine. So yeah, it's just going to be a little bit of a morph. We're not going to make it go crazy. It's going to be probably just that much. You know, I might just allow that much of a pull, and that's it. Because it does cause some reflection issues. And I should, let me take a look at wireframe again. Because I can probably, what I should probably do is subtract some of this back down so that it's not so sharp. So let's do that. Let's jump back into, oops, heads up. Let's jump back into edit mode here, or weight paint mode, sorry. We'll make the radius back to large again, maybe not quite that big. Maybe 100? That's pretty good. I'm going to actually use this... No, I'm not. I was going to say I was going to use this exactly like a weight painting brush. But Well, I do want to do that though. I'm happy with the rest of it, so let me just jump back into edit mode, and I want to start deselecting some of these lines. So I just want to fix what these two outer ones. Let's actually just deselect everything. Get rid of this wireframe. It's kind of making it confusing. So what did I have? This guy here? No. That's this guy and this guy, right? Those are the two I really want to kind of calm down. Let's jump back into weight paint mode. And let's see. Let's subtract. And I'm just going to start subtracting. That's probably not enough subtracting. Let me try 0.005. There, it's starting to go now. I'm just going to work our way around here. Should probably be using my my pen, my drawing tablet for this. But this is okay. This will work. Let's see the wireframe. I've gone too far actually, so let's undo this until okay, let me do this line right in here. Let me get a smaller radius. Yeah, and I just kind of want to subtract this line right in here one more time. Okay, maybe one more shot right there. Now I kind of want to turn masking off and move that one back just a touch. Well, that one was masked. That's not the one I wanted to move back, was it? This one. A little bit more. Okay. Let's see now. How's that look? So it's a little better through here. Still a little bit funky right in here. But that's just kind of like a... Let me take a look at the wireframe. That's just because all of this is stretching out. Not a ton I can do other than maybe take some weight out of that line right there. Let's go into weight paint. Go to weight paint mode here, and let me try the mix brush again. I just want to add a little bit of weight here. And around. I like that. And then I think I'm going to want to subtract this top line a little bit. Let's go to the subtract brush. And then just kind of start subtracting a little bit along here. Oops, missed. Just a little bit. Oh, I kind of made a mess over here. I missed that one. Just trying to get the mesh to make a little more sense. Just trying to fix some of these curves. Okay, let's see how that looks. Much better. Still not perfect, but I mean much better. Alright, so anyway, that was kind of an extreme hole. So, like I said, we're just going to do a small amount of pull. Let me make sure that it's working on the opposite side. Yeah, it is. So it's just going to be a little bit of a morph. It's not going to be a huge morph. Just about like that. And then you'll have your fender that you can do as well as necessary, so that you can kind of get your fatter cobra look going. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good for the most part. I mean, it's not easy to do stacked morphs like that, you know. And you kind of have, especially when I'm this close to a door seam and I'm trying to like get the whole quarter panel moving. But yeah, I think that'll work. I think we're in good shape right there. So now we do the front. And let's see. So the front, I want to do the front. It's going to be another one that's just kind of mild, right? So I think I'll probably pick this line here as a good starting point, but obviously not going through the door. We're not going to morph all that. So we'll go, yeah, that's probably a good line to pick. I actually want to go further. Yeah, I actually want to go much further up, I think. I think I want to go all the way up to like here. Oops. Deselect all that over here. Okay, that works pretty good, huh? Alright, so let's hide, and I'll hit L, and we'll hide that, and I'll hit L, and then I'll unhide, and that's the section I kind of want to work on. And then, kind of the same as before, let's go through and make sure that, oops, not that, a little too far. Make sure that, yay! Make sure that what I need down here is selected, using the circle select tools. I like the circle select. I don't see a lot of people using it. I use the crap out of it. It's one of my favorite selection tools. Alright, and then kind of the same thing down here, right? So, kind of hard to see this line that I need. Really hard to see that line that I need. It's right there. So these guys here to there. And I don't need that. Okay, and then I obviously don't need this, this, or this. I just want this section. So, alright, now that I've got that selected, let's jump back out here and go ahead and pose the bone. Oh, you know what? I never checked the actual, what were my final weights on this? .1, 0.83 rear quarter plus. So the rear quarter is heavier than the rear quarter plus, and that's what I needed. So now they'll both. I'm just going to make sure they both show up in game, because that's the thing. Layered morphs can be a little tricky if you weight them wrong. Morning beverage. Oh no. Alright. Let me just undo until... There we go. Since I didn't actually do anything there. So, alright, so bone is posed. Let me go ahead and lock that, what was it? R quarter plus. You don't have to lock the opposite sides, because there's actually nothing over there. Just lock this side. So, now we're on our fender plus, right? Yeah. So, here we go. Let's jump over here. Let's get into weight paint mode and turn that back on. It's going up. Oh, that's much better. All right, turn the radius back up to 500. Go back to a mix brush. And what did I start at last time? It was 0.05, I think it was. It's my first pull. Yeah, there we go. And of course this makes an enormous bulge here that I don't want. Maybe I want to start with a slightly less amount of weight. Let's try 0.01 as my first pull here. And that should be pretty good. Okay, back to edit mode. 0.01 is not much weight though. If I keep going down this road, I'll be lucky to get a full 1/10. So I think it would make more sense if I went back and did it the way I had it. Let's just undo it until... No? It doesn't want to remember it. Okay. Go back to the mix brush. 0.05. Make sure everything's not broken. Okay. Alright, so what I'll do then is I'll just move the bone back. Come on, come on. Yeah, because see, I definitely don't want that. So let's just move this back. Let's just clear the transform. And I'll move it as much as I want it to go. Right here. No, it's just too heavy. No matter what, it's too heavy. So I think what I'll do is, because that's probably about, what I'll do then is I'll just go and I'll start subtracting along here to taper this from, and we'll kind of do that from top view. That's probably the best way to do this. Maybe instead of 0.5, I'll do 0.1. That way I make sure I have enough weight to actually matter. Let me jump back in here. Go to weight paint mode. Oh, we're not selected? Why are we not selected? Need to undo until we have a selection. Come on, guy. There it is. Okay. Oh dear. Alright, so I think I decided what I want it to be. Weight paint. I want it to be 0.1. Which means I just need to add another 0.05. Like that. Okay. So now, that'll basically be the maximum weight of this morph. Jump over here, jump back into pose mode, and then we'll just clear the transform, and let's pull this out about as far as we want it, total. Probably don't want it to go any further than that, I don't think. So yeah, then what we'll do, like I said, we'll come into top view, and we're just going to start kind of tapering off these weights. So let's grab the subtract brush, and again, it's not selected. How did I end up with my weights not selected? Come on, guy. Okay. Good grief. Make sure that that's got the weight I want on it. 0.097. It's kind of weird. How about I just round it up? Let's add 0.003 so we get a full, there, 0.1. Okay, that's all I want. All right, into top view. so now let's go ahead and start subtracting. Right, so we're going to subtract, what do we think, 0.05 at a time, maybe? Oh, that's way too much. What are you thinking? No, 0.005. Alright, so it's just a matter of kind of drawing at this point, I think. Let me grab my tablet. That might be a little bit easier with the tab. Oh, hello. There we go. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of start. No? It's not working. There it goes. I feel like this maybe needs to be a little bit larger. Let's make it 40 pixels. So I want this to be smaller. So yeah, I'm just going to kind of shape this until it starts to make a little more sense to me. I want more of a tapered off. Obviously this is going to kind of be a little bit problematic from that angle. See how that looks. That probably works. Alright. There we go. I think that works fine. So yeah, now we get kind of another double fender morph, right? So you can kind of make the whole fender bigger, kind of make just this part bigger, like that. All right, so I'm going to put my tablet away over there. Let's see. So yeah, there we go. What are some of the other morphs I want to do on this thing, huh? What do you think? Obviously we want to do something with the front end. Probably want to do something with the height of the hood. Those are pretty simple morphs, so we can do those with skinning. The roof and the windshield I've decided to leave for shape keys. And then the rear, what do I want to do with the rear? Could probably do some skinning with the rear to make it longer, shorter, taller. And we can skin that. So I think I'll just do that, and the only shape keys are going to be, I'll leave the windshield rake like this for a shape key. We'll leave the height for a shape key. And like this back angle here, we'll have one that goes back like that also will be a shape key. So I think we'll do 3 more up here. Height, angle, angle. And then those will be shape keys. So those won't be covered today. And then, yeah, so let's try, maybe we'll do like a hood taller morph, and we'll see about maybe doing some morphs out here that change the shape of the rear end some more. Yeah. Okay, so let's get that started. I just need to copy a bone. Let me go ahead and just manually enter that like that. Alright, so let's start with this one right here, and we'll make this something to do with the length. Right, so we'll call this, let's call this rear morph, I'm guessing. Just rear. Keep it short. The less you have to type, the easier it is, because you got to come over here. Oh, we got to lock up the right fender plus. Come over here, and we'll call that rear. New vertex group. And so let's decide what we want to morph with it. Just deselect all that. get into side view, probably make it easier. Grab everything from here back. Alright, so I'll hide that. L to select. There we go. And then let's make sure that we've got it. Oh, it's going the wrong direction. Make sure I got everything selected this way. And I'm going to crawl under here though, because I don't need to have all kinds of this stuff selected. We'll go ahead and take this one, but I'm going to deselect here, there. We'll take a little bit of the lower lip, but not the whole thing. Make sure I didn't accidentally, I think I accidentally deselected something on the top. Yep. Alright, so here we go. I think to do this one, this would actually be easier as a shape key as well, now that I'm thinking about it. But yeah, this is going to be considerably, because if I was doing this as a shape key, what I would do is I would just kind of, I think maybe highlight this one here. I would go into, yeah, active element, and then I would just do this. I would start, well, yeah, because you would just kind of do that and see, and you would just like do a little bit of this, deselect it, do it again, just kind of, oops, go from there. Actually, we want to keep the same thing highlighted. Then you would do that, deselect it, and just keep like doing this, right? And you can just kind of go through this whole motion. Oops, that's not what I'm trying to do. And this is all there is to setting up a shape key. Like, it would literally be this simple, you know, and then we could have a morph that goes super short. But I want to actually be able to have this morph go two directions, and shape keys aren't currently set up to go, oops, to go both directions that way. So we'll go ahead and do this manually. It's going to be a little bit of a pain because these are closer, right, than this is. So yeah, it's going to be some work. This is going to be a little bit of work, but no big deal. Let's go ahead and, so we got rear selected, we got everything highlighted. I'm going to grab the bone. I'm actually going to move it in instead of out. Oh, you know what? I got to change the lock here. So we're going to move it in a bit because I actually want to see this going shrink, because it's going to go both ways, right? It's going to be able to shrink in this way and pull out, but I want to watch it going this way. So let's go into weight paint mode. Alright, everything's selected. Let's try a radius of 500, a strength of, how do I want to do this? If I do that, it's going to go way in, I think. And no, we don't need to subtract. We actually need to add to make it go backwards. And so yeah, that moves it pretty far. So, but I want that as, I think I want that as my starting weight. So what I'll do, now I've got to be careful about the fender morph, because if it's heavier than the quarter plus morph, if it's heavier than the quarter plus morph, it's going to make the quarter plus morph harder to drag. So you know what? Let's undo that. Let's undo that, and we'll start with 0.03. That's probably just about right anyway. So okay, and then everything else from here on out is going to be like 0.05, something like that. And then so what I want to do is jump into edit mode. Actually, I don't really want to jump into edit mode just yet. What I want to do is finish shaping this line. So let me get my pad back out, my drawing pad, and make this maybe 20, maybe 30. Get the right size that I want. Alright. So, and I'm just going to, oops, make sure I didn't accidentally do something there. I'm just going to kind of draw this until, that's actually, I need to make that a bigger brush. Yeah, let's keep going. So from here, I'm going to keep going. And so, I mean, it's just kind of, maybe one more pass there. So we've already got a pretty steep angle started, so I mean, the whole thing is going to end up being pretty short. So anyway, that's fine. Let me go into edit mode. I'll deselect that line. And then back to weight paint mode. And let's make this whole thing huge again. And we're going to add weight to it until we're about there. And then back to, what was that? Something like 40? 30? 40? Somewhere in the middle? Alright. And then, yeah, that's not quite big enough. Let's try 50. I have a little more room to work with right now. So now let's just kind of weight these like so. And it's just a matter of kind of just trying to create my own little world here. Okay, making sure that line stays pretty good. So let's jump back into edit mode then. We'll deselect that line. Make sure nothing else associated with it up there is selected. And back into weight paint mode. Jack the brush back up. And we'll go ahead and add weight. I'm just watching the bottom here. I want to make sure the bottom doesn't get too close. Okay. Now back to 40, was it? Something in there. And then I'll just manually, again, start adding weight this way. Yeah, the brush needs to be a little bit bigger. Let's try 60. Yeah, that's probably better. That'll allow me to get all those. And we'll just keep on drawing. I feel like I could use a little bit more weight here. Let's try 0.001. That's not right. 0.01. It's probably a little heavy. No, that's fine. Just keep working it here. Yeah, that's probably good right there. All right, back into edit mode. I want to unmask that guy there. All right, back into, I want to deselect everything. Back into weight paint mode. All right, make the brush huge again. And then I feel like I have something select. Hold on. Huh? That seems right. Oh, I see. No, that's fine. That's fine. Just go ahead and add like that. Okay. Back in. No, we're where we need to be. Just change the brush size. So now it's starting to get a little bit convoluted here. It's kind of hard to see what I'm working on. So just gotta kind of do this and do it this way. And we'll just keep working on it, I guess. Put it back so I can see it at least. I'm gonna make the brush a little bit smaller now. Kind of zoomed out, so I need to make it a little bit easier to work with. I kind of feel like this in here. Alright, I think I'll just do it in like 2 steps. I'll do this section here, and then I'll do the top separately. 3, 4. It's going to count how many times I swipe. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. So that was 13 swipes. So what I can do is 13 times 0.10 would be what? 0.13, 0.013 or 0.13, right? And then from here, there, and align all that up, right? I don't think I actually want it that heavy. That makes it way too sharp. And I'm starting to feel like I might have gone a little overboard. Let me try just 0.1. And how's it looking at least so far? So it's getting pretty steep. And see, that's the other thing that's difficult with morphs. It's really difficult to keep your reflections looking any good. You know, shape keys, it's a lot easier to keep your reflections looking good because you can just shear your stuff until it looks right. Man, I don't know. Well, let's just work on one more at least. 1, 2. I'm getting pretty close to 1, 2, 3, 4. Getting pretty close to the end of this, I think. Anyway, I've only got like 4 more of these lines I've really got to concern myself about for the shape of the trunk. Maybe 5. Alright, so let's go back into weight paint mode. Turn the X-ray back on. Let's see here. Whoa, that was a ton. That might have been too much. Yeah, let's get this back down to 0.01. Watching down here, so that's already kind of maxed out. So let's get this back to normal size. And we'll just kind of work it. And change the weight. And just draw it up. And it's nice and smooth right here. What about here though? It looks like it's all of these. Yeah. Just working it back here. Back into side view. Maybe one more pass. Yeah, there. That should do it. Right there. Although, I don't know about this here. That's probably alright. Okay, let's get back in edit mode. We'll deselect that line now. Okay, continuing on here. little too far there. Okay. We're all the way out here now. Okay, well, just kind of got to wing it a little bit. Okay, continuing on then. Grab a pen. And just keep, oops, don't want to do that. It's kind of hard to, like, not hit the wrong stuff when there's this many vertices to deal with. Okay, there we go. Keep working it. Keep working it. Maybe one more swipe. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I apologize if this is boring as hell, but it's, this has always been one of the more tedious tasks with automation modeling is weighting your skins. And unfortunately, there's just no like really good way to do it. There's no fun, friendly way to do it. There all the ways to do it are kind of a pain in the ass. The size of that here. Okay. Okay, back into edit mode. Go ahead and deselect that line. I'm kind of starting to feel like, what do I need? Do I need to move? What's the fender looking like here? And the trunk is wonky, but what's the fender look like? So yeah, still got to do some work to the moving back of the fender. I mean, this is all starting to work okay. Okay, so yeah, let's jump back into weight paint. Actually, no, I need to go back to edit mode. I want to deselect that as well. And so I think we'll just treat this entire area as one again. Back in weight paint mode. And actually, I think I'm going to deselect this entire, this bottom section. We don't need to move it anymore. All this down here is done. So, there. That should make life a bit simpler. I'll do that. Maybe that's all I really need to do to wrap most of this up, is kind of like start working from the bottom up. Go to edit mode, deselect this line, back to weight paint mode. I'll shrink it a little bit more. Oh, that's too far. Alright, back to edit mode, deselect this line, back to weight paint mode. We're going to have to do something about that because it's going to look a little funny. Everything looks a little funny. Okay. So I'm going to end up having to do a little bit of subtraction on some of this. So, let me see, edit mode. Yeah, we'll figure it out. I just want to get this trunk finished and then we'll come back. So that should finish the trunk. So now I just gotta unmess up the back here, which has gone kind of haywire. Alright, so I mean the back is a big mess. The trunk is not the prettiest thing ever. Good grief, man. What am I going to do to straighten this out, huh? So let's start adding a subtract brush. And I'm just going to like do a small amount of weight. And I'm going to start at the middle, smaller brush. And I'm going to start trying to correct this a little bit. 0.01 is probably not nearly enough. 0.05 is too much. 0.02. Okay. You just kind of trying to smooth this so that it's a little bit cleaner of a line through here. And of course this is definitely going to be fiddly. That's going to take a minute of me just kind of screwing around here. Back to the drawing tablet. I'm trying to just kind of smooth this out so that it doesn't look so bad. Yeah, that's better. It's better right there. So, yeah, because we got this kind of hump right in here, huh? I want to fix that for sure. Let's paint it a little bit till it comes back out. There we go. I'm going to kind of do the same thing over here. Just a little bit at a time. And I kind of feel like this line right here can actually go in a touch. So let me go back to the mix brush. And let's just drag it across here. There, that was pretty good. Alright, back to the subtract brush. And let me hide the armature, it's kind of in my way. So, yeah, we got this guy here. This whole section kind of needs to come up a little bit, thinking. Why is this whole thing moving? Okay. So now we get into some trickier sections here. Here, because it's going to be difficult to paint that without painting over a bunch of other stuff. I don't know, might be alright. Let's just get it. Okay. Alright. Still going here. So now I've got, like, this all up here looks, I'm sorry, I'm on the fender. This all here, the quarter, looks pretty good for the most part. Let me take a look. Maybe we can just do, maybe I want to go like this, just a bit. Let's bring it up just a little bit. Right up in here, just bring it up a little. And then, yeah, because that looks smoother to me. And so then, like that's pretty straight, so we got to kind of work on these now until these start to make more sense. Yeah, so I'm starting to regret not just doing this as a shape key. Because it definitely would have been easier. Let's see, where does that belong? I think you're in. It's kind of tough to tell where that one is. I think it's in a little bit. So maybe if I just go like that. So let's see. Maybe I can bring this one down a little bit. Back to the mix. So I'm going to bring this guy from here to out there and start bringing it in a little. Zoom in some more. Oops. Zoom in some more. Just want to affect that one right there. And maybe this one a little bit. Alright, so still not quite there. That's way in right there, isn't it? Look at that. Alright, we need to go back to this track brush, because that guy right there is way in. I'm going to bring it out. There. Something like that. Alright, let me go back to the mix brush. Go ahead and top that one in a bit. Down there. So, yeah, I mean, just fiddling around here, trying to fix up this, because this is going to make the reflections be an issue if these are all out of whack. I'm going to keep coming down a little bit more on that one. Just trying to get this line to kind of make sense here. Okay, that's starting to make a little more sense. I think I need to grab, a little bit of a track brush again, because this line in here needs to come out, probably from here down, really. Yeah, this is a big mess. I have turned this into a pretty big mess. Alright, how's that look? Still a little flat. Let's try to round that off a little bit more. Just going through here. Let's do some of these now. About like that. Still seems a little flat to me. Well, keep on going then. There, that's better. Much better. Alright, we're actually starting to get somewhere here. Alright, most of this is looking pretty decent. Still got a little bit of work to do, like maybe right there a little bit. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Actually, I think I wanted to bring this out. And then we'll go get our mix brush and bring these two in a touch. I still think I want to bring that one out some more. That one looks a little high right here. So, I mean, yeah, fiddle, fiddle, fiddle. No problem, right? And then we're going to have to obviously fix a bit of a mess down here. So I kind of like the curve up until this point. So this one here, is what we're going to work on bringing back in. So that means, yeah, we already got our mix brush. So let's just go ahead and draw. I think I need just more weight right now. Let's try 0.007. This is going to need a little bit more movement. Yeah, just bringing it along here. Just carefully now. Keep on bringing it in. Oh, look at this. So far in, I didn't do any of this in here. I'm going to have to weight all that too. That we can do manually, probably. Be a little bit easier. We'll just isolate it and work on it. Let me just go ahead and keep grabbing these guys. Keep painting them in until it starts to make a little more sense. This guy's kind of sticking out right there, ain't you? Okay, now let's work on the next one down. I'm going to bring this guy in. I think I'm just going to add a little bit more weight to it here. Let's try 0.01. And we'll just draw until it starts to flow a little bit better. Let's see if I missed a spot. Just a little bit more. Don't do too much. Let's kind of get down here so I can see a little bit better. Maybe one more pass. Okay. That will probably work. Let me go ahead and see the armature again. Let's tab out into object mode. Let's turn this wireframe off. Get into object mode. There we go. Yeah. It's mostly worked out. And that's a pretty extreme morph like that. Again, that is not going to be possible because the chassis will stick out. I mean, maybe we can do this much, but the real point of this was kind of to do a pull morph, where you can come out some, you know, maybe like that far. So be able to come out, be able to go in a little bit, and call it good. So now what I have to do is actually, oh, there it is. Yeah, I was looking for, you can see that this isn't weighted, which is kind of annoying that I missed that. So let me go ahead and highlight. I'm going to unhighlight and highlight that its own separate piece. Is any of it weighted at all? No, it didn't get weighted at all. So, okay, no big deal. We'll weight it. Let's just deselect those. Just jump back into weight paint mode. And do a mix brush, right? Go ahead and do the masking. And we'll just weight it. That's not enough. just going to kind of swipe across here. Adding just a little bit at a time. I think I can see a gap. And I think that's probably pretty good right there. Let me take a look. Let's take a look right here. Turn X-ray off. All right, let's turn wireframe on. There. All right. There we go. Not too bad. Probably should have weighted this just a little bit. It's probably not too late to. It's definitely not too late to. So let me go ahead and pull this out a bit, like here. Tab back into edit mode. Oh, not that edit mode. I want this guy. So, just gotta figure out which one it is. It's this one right here. And turn off the wireframes. It's confusing. So from there to there. But I don't really want to grab that one. I want to leave that one alone. I probably want to leave that one alone. So let's jump into weight paint mode real quick. We're just going to add a little bit of weight to this top section here. Doesn't need much, just a little bit. Alright, back in object mode. Let's turn X-ray off. So now that should move more of the trunk. Let's make the reflections a little bit better. Uh-oh. I've apparently accidentally weighted my windshield, or my glass back here. So I have to go back in. So, I mean, sometimes that happens. You accidentally weight things. Not a big deal. So we'll just go over here to vertex group weights. And yeah, you can see it right here. Actually, the top of this is also a little bit. So let me just go ahead and snag those like so. And I'm going to go remove them from the rear morph group like that. And that should fix it. Yep, there we go. That's all good. Alright, what we got? It's about lunchtime. About time for me to go get something to eat. So anyway, yeah, that morph there is done. When we come back, maybe I'll do one that makes the, I don't know, how big is this morph? I don't know if I can. I was going to say, well, I guess I could do one that makes the trunk go up and down a little bit. Let's see, how many morphs do I have? 1, 2, 3 already. I can add one more maybe up here and still have it overlap this one. I'm going to kind of think about what I want it to do. Maybe I'll just shape key it. I think I'll just shape key it because it would be simpler to just kind of do a shear to shape key this and have it kind of come up a little bit. Okay, yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll save that for a shape key. So when we come back from lunch, we'll do a little morph here on the front end to kind of collapse this nose a little bit, so we can do some stuff with that. And then I'll probably do a shape key for a bulge on the hood, maybe, like so we can bulge the hood up or make it flatter. Maybe make that out of a shape key later. I'm not going to go too crazy on shape keys because you basically have to wait until you've applied the mirror, and so the shape key ends up being on both sides of the mesh, and then you're kind of sort of stuck doing one at a time, although not really. You can do multi-object editing and do your shape keys that way, and it's just a little fiddly to set up. It's probably worth it. Anyway, yeah. So let's get something to eat, and then I'll come back and we'll do a little bit of a morph for the front, and then we'll be done skinning, and we'll see what else we can get done today. All right, see you later.